Hi, this is Janos, and this is my channel, Real World Audio, and I named it because I want to put audio into the real world to ground it. So when you learn about audiophile stuff, about high end, then it's more than just a mythical fairyland, but you get informed about what these devices do on the inside. So it's not just a shiny box, it's not just a mythical brand name, but what is inside? Do they really put in the real stuff, or is just riding on the winds with a famous name? And I'm saying these things because you will notice that I do a lot of equipment overviews when and many of these are by demand, and then I share what I think about that component, otherwise known as the product. and and my overviews are very different from the reviews you are getting online when people take that equipment, put it in their system, listen to it, and they tear their impressions how that sounds. And that's great. That will tell you what that person is experiencing. And let's be honest to each other. That's why we are so addicted to watching reviews, because it kind of feels like it's you who has that component, and then you feel what that person feels when they are listening to it. So it's kind of like owning that gear for the time you are watching the review. So for 10 minutes of your life you have that dream preamplifier, but then after the 10 minutes, after review is gone, that euphoria is gone, and that review is almost worthless to you. And all that and all the conclusion of it was that whether it worked on that person's system, with the music he listens, with the room the system is set up in, and his own listening preferences, and all of which you know nothing about. Or maybe if you follow that reviewer, you start to get an idea what are his preferences, but until you visit him and listen to a few reviews that he's doing with him, and you calibrate, okay, what is his reality, until then those reviews tell absolutely nothing. So that's my overviews are very different. I'm not focusing on that side, how a certain product would perform in my system, because it would perform totally different compared to your system. And so that wouldn't say much. So I have my setup is a, how would I say, an extremely revealing purist system. So if I put in anything here, switch out any of my components to it, it will show the minutest errors that component is doing. So it's not just showing like the good side, it's also revealing all the nasties. And when you put these products in systems that are not revealing, then the nasties are probably, most of them are not coming through, or are just mitigated by your system, or they are compensating your system's weaknesses. So that's why it would be almost meaningless if I give you recommendations on how it sounds in my system. Uh, and depending on your system, what are the shortcomings there, how it's optimized, what is the uh, revealing capacity of your chain, a certain equipment would show itself as completely different, night and day differences. So that's why what I'm doing is telling you what is inside the unit, how it works, and what are the applications that you could use it for. What is a system that would be able to handle it? Where would it be something that uplifts, or where would it be very downlifts? So, and then what are the system philosophies where that gear would work or it wouldn't work, and also I'm pointing out those areas that can use upgrading. So if you are into it, or if you know technicians who can modify gear, I will point out what are the points where that product can be attacked to lift it up to the next level, to get rid of its shortcomings. Because even if you buy something for $100,000, it's coming pre-packaged with compromises. Even at the most expensive price scale, the manufacturer has to call that, okay, this is how far I can go, we cannot put in more than that. And you might think that for that money they can do everything, but if they do everything, then the price will bump up to 5 times that. And because there's like additional cost that come into the system. And often when you buy a product, only 10% of the cost is the actual parts that they put in it. So if you're talking about like $100,000 preamp, there's often just $10,000, $20,000 worth of stuff in it, and yeah, that's a lot of money. And often it's not even the money that's the limit, but the creativity and the know-how of the company that's putting it together. And what I have noticed, that each company has their own specialty, and one can learn a lot from the other, but they are not talking to each other because they are competitors. So if they would trade their secrets, then it would mean that one of them would go out of business. So that's why companies really want to hold tight to the things that make them special, that make them successful, and they don't share. And I come in a very special position because my mentor, Stu Ono, he was that person who opened up everything that he laid his hands upon, and he broke everything down, tore things apart, modified them, and 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 he did not rest until he figured out that a special component, what made it special. So he spent his entire lifetime doing that, and he spent over a decade of his life teaching me what he learned, what he gained from these experiences, doing that to everything from cartridges through amplifiers to loudspeakers and cables, everything. And that's why I can tell you guys these little secrets, how these units work, and they will give you a very different level of judgment call on what is the potential of a certain piece of equipment, how will that be beneficial for you, how you can improve on it if you have the inclination, or how can you build something like that for yourself if you don't have that kind of money that product sells for, like a $50,000 preamplifier. Most people, like save that kind of money for a car, or maybe a pair of cars, or a down payment, or a college fund for children or whatnot. And if you want like really high level sound, you just gonna build it for yourself, and you can do it less than 10 times less the cost. Yeah, it's still a lot of money, but it's at least not the order of a down payment for a home. But it's something reasonable that you could put together after maybe like a few years of savings if you live here in the United States, even on modest wages. So that's why welcome to my channel. And if you have questions, comments for these videos when I'm talking about preamplifiers, loudspeakers, I have a lot of loudspeaker analysis already. Just type away with the comments and I will help you. I will answer. And have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, check out my videos every day, because YouTube is probably not showing up when my new videos appear. You have to come and look it for yourself. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.